Hi everybody, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to teach you how to draw chibi characters. So chibi characters are those short-statured, cute characters that you sometimes see in manga and anime. To learn how to draw chibis, we first have to understand basic proportions. Generally, the head is full size at birth and the body grows. So we use head sizes to show how old somebody is. A child is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 heads tall. And as we get older, we're just going to add more heads. So a teenager, like this character, is going to be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads tall. And the legs are going to come to about 50% of the body, so we can count 50% of the heads. An adult is usually a lot less happy, and they tend to be about 7 heads tall or more. So we're going to talk about the chibi proportions now. So chibis are not normal proportion characters. In fact, a chibi is usually 2 to 3 heads tall. And like I said, they're very cute. So you want big smiles, happy eyes, and to show those proportions. Okay? So let's get started with drawing our chibi characters. So I'm going to actually draw 2 chibi characters today, and they're going to be doing a hugging pose. So we're going to start off with our basic head construction. We're going to start off with our circles to represent the cranium. And we're going to draw just a line to show the general weight of the character. Since these 2 characters are going to be hugging, this weight line is going to show them sort of leaning in. This line doesn't represent the spine. It just shows the weight of the character. So they're both going to be leaning into the hug. Next, we're going to draw the line to indicate the face. And with chibi characters, we don't want a large chin. So this line is long enough, and we're just going to connect it back to show the jaw. And we'll do the same thing for the other character over here. Both characters are going to be in a slight 3/4 pose of the heads, so that's quite easy to draw. And then just connect the lines here. Again, keeping the chins really short. That's one characteristic of the chibi characters, is that the chins are not exceptionally long. Next, we're going to draw some lines to represent the shoulders. For the chibi characters, these lines should not be larger than the head. And then we're going to draw some ovals for the torso. But these are too big. Those are closer to real proportions. So I'm going to press the undo button and add smaller torsos. That looks a little bit better. Next, I'm going to add some circles to represent the shoulders and then the arms in the hugging position. So I'm going to have her arms going behind the other girl's head, and they'll basically be doing just about the same pose. One thing to notice with the chibi characters is that they are less detailed overall, and that is to add to the cuteness factor that they have. So you'll notice right here, I don't actually draw a hand or individual fingers. You can sometimes get away with doing like a mitten kind of looking hand if you want them to be holding something, but in this case it's not necessary. Next, I'm going to draw some horizontal lines to represent the hips, and these are going to be female characters. So for females, the hips are usually wider than the shoulders. So make sure you do that, or at the very least make the circle to represent the hips larger. And then I'm going to add in the legs, and I don't like the first character's legs, but I do like the second character's legs. So I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to erase that character's hips and legs and make them just a little bit better. That's a nice thing with this initial sketch, is you can just erase things that you don't like and change them the way you see fit. Those legs are much better. Now, I'm going to fade this basic sketch. This is the foundation for my drawing. This is making sure my proportions are correct. In this part, I'm going to start adding some of the general details, such as the face, and I'm also going to start connecting some of these structures. Sneak in some lines to show me where the eyes are, and let's start roughing in the eyes. So for the eyes, I like to draw the upper and lower eyelid first. and that sort of keeps them even. And I use the line across the face as a bit of a guideline. Since these are chibi characters and they're happy, I'm going to make sure that they're wide-eyed. For chibi characters, usually the big anime style eyes are even bigger to really emphasize the cute factor. Typically things are cute if they have big eyes. The other thing you'll also see is that I don't include the nose. Noses are not usually included in the anime style, although they are becoming included in more serious sort of mangas or more serious animes, sort of mimicking the Western style. But in sort of shoujo comics or anything that's sort of, like I said, meant to be really cute, the nose is minimized. And in the chibis, it's completely not included. And so now I'm just putting in basic features where the ears are, and I'm connecting a lot of the basic structures in my underlying sketch. This phase, I'm still being quite rough and loose, because maybe I might find something that I like, but I am being a little bit more neater than my initial foundation. And the main reason for that is I'm going to ink over this anyway, and inking is really when the drawing becomes much more polished. If you're at this point right now, you put any character on top of these now, as long as you got the basic eyes and the basic structure. For characters, I'm going to actually include 2 of my own original characters. So one thing that I'm working on right now is a manga project, and so I've developed a couple of characters and I've drawn them a couple times, so they're very easy for me to draw. When you're adding in the hair, make sure you have like a basic plan of what the hair is going to look like. The front of the hair, the side of the hair, the back of the hair. Don't just add it in willy-nilly and hope it'll work. The other thing is, in anime, hair tends to be quite spiky. For chibi characters, make those spikes broader than you usually would. Normally when I'm drawing these characters and it's not a chibi style, I make sure that the spikes are quite sharp, but in this version of the characters, I'm going to make them quite broad. So, broad like that. So here there's about 2 spikes before I get to the side parts of her hair. Normally when I draw her regularly, it's a lot more. I suppose I should talk about what these characters are while I add them on. So the girl on the left hand side, she's the main character. She doesn't have a name yet, none of them do. And she's a very straight-laced kind of student who doesn't have much of a personality, but through her own trials and tribulations sort of gains one. The girl on the right is her best friend, who's sort of a bubble. That would be her personality. She's very bubbly, but she's getting her friend into trouble trying to fix things up. So I've drawn these 2 characters more than a couple times. And by the way, the rabbits that she has in her hair, they like to mimic her emotions. So I've drawn these 2 characters more than a couple times, so they're really easy for me to draw. And that's why I chose them for this, just to make it really easy to draw, so that you don't have to watch me come up with something brand new. And add a few more details onto the clothes. And these look just about ready to ink. So that's basically, in a nutshell, the process of drawing chibi characters. Make sure that the proportions are such that the height of the chibi is 2 to 3 heads tall. Make sure that the eyes are very big, maybe representing, well, you can see how large they are. They should be larger than the shoulders. Minimize, exclude the nose, make the spiky parts of the hair quite broad, and do your best to emphasize the cuteness factor. So going into inking, I'm going to pick my dark purple and go to a hard pressure brush, and I think I've talked enough, so I'm just going to let the time lapse take care of this. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys again later. Bye.